Well, as you may have guessed, we made it in St. Mary's Inlet safe and sound. And because the weather was not going to cooperate, we decided to do the one thing that I absolutely hate and detest, and it's revolting, but I had to motor down the ICW, heading south. So we're north of St. Augustine, and just gonna look at some of the sights along the ICW. That's a nice looking cabin cruiser. Too bad it is where it is. I would guess it's probably no good to anybody at this point. So as we're traveling south down the ICW, I couldn't help but notice all these brand new, have to be $1 million mansions along the ICW. And look how close they are to the water line. Now, this is sea level, okay? High and low tide is just as accurate in the intercoastal waterway as it is on the ocean. And I just have to believe, and I've heard from many people that have said, uh, these people have homeowners insurance, they have flood insurance, they have 30-year mortgages, some of them. A lot of these really big mansions are obviously a cash paid deal from people with nothing but a whole lot of money, but still, to be on the water, have your brand new mansion, and these are mansions, just a foot or 2 foot above the high water line is amazing to see. We've seen this all over North Carolina and Virginia. We've seen structures, homes, businesses, just basically right at the water line. And obviously, if the whole global warming, water rising thing was real, there's no way these guys could get building permits. There's no way they could get insurance. That whole thing is just a fake deal trying to control your life. And sorry if you don't like that, but that's the truth. So after a long trip south, we decided to splurge and get a slip in the St. Augustine Marina. It's first class all the way. I always wanted to do this and check out the other cool boats in the marina. Had a very nice weekend there, and on our way. Well, let's see here. It's November something. Gee, I have the hardest time. Maybe 17th with the date. So we just left St. Augustine this morning at 7 o'clock this morning. It's about noon now. We had 7, 8. Well, we actually had about 10, 11, 12 knot winds after we got out of the inlet, and going in a good direction. And now the winds are slowed down to 2 knots. Pretty useless, but got the motors on and doing about 5 knots of speed. That's about it. When we were here in Fort Pierce working on our boat at Riverside Marina, it was in dry storage, and to take a break we would come out and walk this jetty and dream about the day we would go boating.
Watch your damn head.
I'm okay. Now we're coming back into the Fort Pierce jetty after completing 3,400 nautical miles of sailing. Not bad. Not bad at all. Well, it's certainly nice getting back to Fort Pierce. And we were able to park at this beautiful dock at our friend's house over at Jerry and Nancy's house. So we flew home, and when we got back to the boat, we see that the tide has gone out, and it meant to stay out. What a problem. Okay, I haven't really wanted to be documenting this because it's kind of a stupid thing that I did, but No idea if this is showing up on the video. Let's see here. How do I explain it? Came in here on what's called a king tide. And so, and we docked on this dock. And came in here, tied up. No big deal, everything's fine, no problem. We went home to Phoenix, came back, and we've been on the ground ever since. So, now you see that post there, the one in the middle, and there's the barnacles that go up about a foot or two, foot and a half, and then above that there's a water stain. Now that water stain is where I need the water to get. Actually, a little right at the top of that water stain on that dock post. That's where I need the water to be. But it's not doing it. So we got almost a full moon and it's not coming up. So here's what we're gonna do. We've rigged up 2 anchors. Now those anchors are out there by the ends of those docks. There's one. And there's an anchor line there, and that goes out by the end of that dock. And then we have shallow water at low tide. It's only a foot deep all the way out until you see the water turn from kind of a light brown to a darker blue. And I don't know if that's going to show up in the video or not, but it's over 100 feet. Now I've been digging a trench back here. And but I'm only gaining, like, I've been digging for a week and a half. I'm only gaining like 3 to 4 inches, and it's not enough. I really need about a foot more water at high tide in order to get back out of here. So what we're gonna do is we've run the lines, and try to move the camera slowly through the cleat, up through a block, and up to a winch on each side, the jib winches. So what we'll do, the props are at the perfect angle to blow dirt away from the rudder. So the props are down angled. And what I noticed was, if I put the engines in forward, it blows a hole about 8 foot deep behind the boat. So what I'm going to do is put the engines in, I'll secure the cleats, put the engines in forward, blow some dirt out from behind us, and then use the winches to winch back, and then set up to do it again. And we'll also have an anchor off the bow to keep the boat straight from wandering side to side. So we should be in pretty good shape. Got some volunteers tomorrow morning to help us. And anyway, this is how to get yourself unstuck when you're surrounded by sand and sitting on sand. This is your class 101. Well, first off, don't do this. If you think it might not be deep enough, okay, listen to yourself, all right? But anyway, this has been trying, but yet in a lot of ways fun to figure out how we're going to get out of here. So otherwise I have to wait until April for the next king tide, and that would not be okay. We're going to the Bahamas, and we're going next week to the Bahamas, you know, with this boat. So it's gonna happen. That's it. Okay, so no idea if this will show up, but there's the ruts where we were trapped. I'm on the dock now, and there's the ruts that we dug to get out. And like I say, I don't know if this will show up. And we're not out yet. She's sitting on the sand right there. We're back to low tide again. But slowly but surely, we're getting this out. What we're doing is using 2 anchors off the aft and we're running those anchor lines to winches, and we're winching our way back with one anchor line going forward, which was supposed to keep us from going crooked. Like you see, we're crooked right now. And that's a long story, but anyway, I had to reset a line, and when we did, we got crooked. So we drifted out of our track, and now we're sideways to the track, and we've got to get back in, but we can't do that till high tide. Hopefully it'll all come straight again, and then we can go ahead and continue to auger our way back out of this little area. All right, we are in severe extreme fog. This is the ICW, which is very rare to see it like this. And actually it's beginning to lift now. You can start making out some things in the distance. Pretty foggy though. So, and we're finally free and clear of the sand. Oh my gosh. What a job that was. Anyway, I developed a technique for getting myself off of sandbars. That is a very nice technique. Worked well. You know, you learn, well, I learned a lot off that. That was great. You know, that's all you can say is you got to learn. It's a learning curve. There's a catamaran coming up, and I can see him now. This is great. The fog is really lifting. That's it for now. It's Wednesday, December 11th at 10 a.m. We got free and clear. Nice to be underway again.